All right. Well, I want to continue on with a topic today that involves teleporting. Let me get a share screen going here. So sometimes it's kind of a hard slog across our vast landscapes. So we might want the capability of teleporting from one place to another. We can wire this up similarly to the way we did the pickups and the damage items. We have an object with a collider that's set to be as trigger. It has a rigid body that's set to be as kinematic. And we have a script teleport that's going to send our player someplace else when they enter the trigger. One could script this to teleport to a specific location, a vector 3 location in the world coordinates. But in many ways, it's easier to place an object where we want to go and have the teleport go to the location of that object. And this is the method that we'll use. We'll have a teleport from object, and perhaps we'll have several teleport to objects in our scene. I'll have an exposed variable here with an array of objects to teleport to. In Awake, I'll catch the number of items that I populate that array with. And in the onTrigger function, onTrigger enter, I'll check to see if the collider is my player. If so, I'll throw a random number in the range 0 to number -1. And I'll simply set my player's transform position to the teleport to objects transform position, the one that we've picked. So this is all very simple. Here's an example of this. The pink cylinder is my teleport from object. It has an array that's populated with the teleport to objects. Let me maximize here. And I can run around and I'll pop out of any of the different teleport to objects where I get where I want to go. That's all well and good, but the teleport effect is kind of plain. We can add some sparks and some noise. So I'll add a poofer, public variable for some particle effect that I want to play. And I'll also add an audio clip, a sound file that I want to play. I've got some whooshing noise that I'll play. The Awake is the same. The onTrigger enter now has a play audio clip function. That's one we'll write ourselves that plays the clip at the position of the teleport to object. And I'll also instantiate that poofer at that position with that orientation. So with those modifications, now I have a bunch of teleport to objects. And I know you can't hear the sound, but it's playing a whooshing noise. I'll let you see that when you play with the game folder. Now, the play audio clip function takes the audio clip and its position and the volume. It makes a new game object called one-shot audio. It puts it at the position of the teleport to object. It adds an audio source to it, add component. It adds the clip to that source, it sets the volume of that source, and it plays that source and then destroys the one-shot audio after the clip length is played. Very simple. So that's all well and good, but the teleportation is kind of quick. I'd like some delay. Plus, I don't really want my scene all cluttered up with teleport to objects. I'd like them to be invisible until they're used. And so in this next version, Teleport 2, I'm going to add a private float delay. I'm going to use this to freeze my character so that the character doesn't just walk out of the Teleport 2 device, but is actually frozen in there for a certain amount of time while the sparks go off and things happen. So now in the, and also I've added a shadow object. That's just something to cast a shadow of my Teleport 2 object. In the awake, I'm going to set the delay to be 25% of the clip length. So the sound's going to play beyond when I'm held there. The usual stuff here. I'm going to go through my, in the awake here, I'm going to go through and I'm going to turn off the mesh renderers and the capsule colliders of the Teleport 2 objects. So this happens at awake, and so when the scene starts, the Teleport 2 objects will be made invisible. Their mesh renderers turned off, and I don't want to run into these invisible objects, so their capsule collider is also turned off, and the shadows are turned off. I don't want an invisible object casting shadows. So an on-trigger enter, I'm going to catch the animator and rigid body component of my player. If the colliding object is the player, I'm going to catch the animator and the rigid body. The rest of this here is the usual stuff. Play audio clip, instantiate the poofer, put the character at the Teleport 2 position. But I'm also going to set my is kinematic to be true. So the rigid body is no longer going to be able to fall. And I'm also going to disable my animator. So the thing that makes my character walk around is going to be turned off. The animator will be disabled. I also want to be able to see my Teleport 2 device now, so I'm going to enable its render, enable its collider, and enable the shadows as well. I'm going to wait a certain amount of time, that 1/4 of the audio clip length, and then after waiting, I'll turn back on the animator, set the is kinematic back to false again, and then disable the mesh renderer for the shadows, the Teleport 2 object, and its collider. So now I have, this is scene 2. So now I have pretty much the same thing. You'll notice that the Teleport 2 devices are missing. Or well, they're there, but they're invisible. Their colliders are turned off, so I can walk through them. When I go into one of my teleport from objects, it goes to it. The character is frozen while in there. I can, so even though I'm pressing the arrow key, nothing's happening. It does rotate. I haven't figured out how to turn that one off yet. It's part of the Ethan's script that he rotates even if I don't want him to. So that's all pretty cool.